Okay, hands in the air, spread them out, and yell, "Hi, every pony!" That's not even the script. I'm doing that. Welcome to my twisted same face syndrome video. Okay, so there are like a lot of scary phrases in the art community, like same face syndrome, there's CalArts, there's Tumblr art style, there's yada yada. But essentially same face syndrome is a very, very common, usually it's just a phase that artists will go through. Sometimes it's permanent, usually that's within hobby artists, but I imagine professional artists excel in this type of skill. But as you may be able to gather from the title, the word used, same face syndrome would consist of no variation in the faces of someone's art. So, like, see the same facial proportions in every character, the same eyes, the same nose, same mouth, even little to no expression. We're gonna get into that later. Now, this word alone, when you think about it, it kind of means nothing for an artist. It represents, like, the sample of art you gather from them, though. There are pros and cons to drawing the same face over and over. There's consistency when you're drawing it, which is a good thing, and that's very key if you are drawing like a representative character or drawing the same character over and over, because how else will they be recognized? Cons, on the other hand, get into context as well, which means the lack of variation. If that truly is your entire load of work, would mean that there's no variation and a potential hindrance in your ability to do so if desired. And now we're going to get into context and what exactly that means here. So, is the art involved like commission work? Is it personal art? Is it commercial art? Because all of those, again, have their pros and cons, and as I mentioned earlier, some people do get hired for their skill in replicating the same face. Generally, clients, commissioners, the people who are paying you for custom pieces of art, they will know the portfolio that they are basing their, order off of. They will know what they are ordering from you, hopefully. So when they ask what they want, they will know that if you are drawing the same type of face over and over, that is the type of face they will likely receive. Like, think about it. They're looking at your art, you have the same face over and over. They pay you to draw for them, and you give them that face. Is that false advertisement? Because you are advertising what you have given. And that is what they are, what I would imagine they're paying for. Meanwhile, personal art, that's kind of out of your distinction when it comes to something as inoffensive as repetitive faces. Like, if your friend is just drawing the same face and all of these characters, it's not quite someone else's business to get hostile. It's not the time to fight. If anything, we will also get into this, but the desire to change, that's more important when it comes to work-related art. So personal art, there really is no need to want to change. Like, drawing the same character or face for the rest of your life when you're just a hobbyist artist and you're just having fun and this is for your personal indulgence, there's nothing that's really gonna come of that you can be blamed for negatively. Like, just draw what you like. It's a cute little face. But now I gotta ask, how are the faces the same? Like, are all of the expressions matching? Are all of the angles matching? Or is it just the proportions? Or is it all three? Or is it like 2 out of 3? And it's like a different combo each time. But I do see the phrase same face syndrome applied to, I think, all of these, so separately, mixed, or all together. Now, consistency is obviously achieved when all of these match up, especially when it all applies to the same character. But does it apply to every character? How? Is it really the same expression, angle, and proportions? I guess even then, you really haven't been exposed to their entire portfolio, so you don't know for sure that all of their art matches the same unifying face focal point. So, it's always situational when this is used against an artist, and oftentimes I do see sometimes it's like personal, and people reach out to add a little, tack on any extra little thing to, rally against someone, and you're like, well, you draw the same faces all the time. But when I never actually see it mentioned outside of those scenarios in which they're tacking it on to other personal problems with an artist's work. But I guess when you are really concerned about the artistic ability of the artist and wondering whether or not, well, are you hindering yourself? Are you? You never really know, because again, you haven't seen their entire portfolio, but there's also like the individual rate of improvement and skill distributed amongst every artist. And do not get me started on how crazy it is someone takes 10 years to improve, while someone else takes 6 years, while someone else takes a week, and someone else takes 20 years. There's just so much that people are capable of in different ways. So, same face issue, it's such a non-issue. And then you have the intent of the artist. Do they want to vary the faces? We don't know. You could ask them. We don't know if they're telling the truth. But as far as I'm aware, major projects work in teams, so several artists can contribute to their specialties. Or, I guess, contribute their specialties to the project. Ultimately, same face can enhance your best qualities, just like practice does. In personal work, it's no sweat. In professional work, it's situational. But it also then connects to, like, more context. How is it stylized? Because realistic art obviously will not be going too well if we're handling it same face style. But super simple art, like chibi art, curve art, it'll pass really well without a complaint, unless you personally have some beef with that artist. How much can you really vary an emotion complexity face? Sorry, I worded that wrong. How do I say it, actually? Well, the varying of a bubba-dabba-dabba-da, of a hubba-hubba-hubba-hubba-hubba, but when you mix the face up and you break it off, it comes back on. Hear what I say. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so, after about 2 minutes, I can finally say it in English, but really, how much can you complexify, like, a ... curve face? We're gonna rotate that curve. Nice. Though issues obviously arise when the same face is detailed enough to make complex characters indistinguishable. Now, defaulting to one specific set of features might look uncanny, or even offensive if it's applied to the wrong character. But does the artist even draw a variety of characters? Because this also defines whether or not that's even going on. My advice at the end is just, if you intend to further a career in art, diverse abilities only help you. If you draw for fun, I can't give accurate advice. It's not my business, not my case. You're not going to blow up the world if you just do what you like with, your drawings. Faces can be different in a lot of ways if you're interested in exaggerating the features to expand your skills. Remember, there's a lot of possible variables. There's like shapes, there's size, there's angles, there's every detail, there's each part of the face, there's each little thing you can add to the face. It can be a result of preference, obviously, but like, if you're not bored, and it's your personal work especially, who cares? Go for what you're doing. Your audience may be bored. And you gotta remember that, like, what you do will get that reaction if you draw the same face. People might be bored. As long as you're doing good, it should be fine. But I do recommend experimenting if you ever do get bored. Malicious intentions in art aren't to be taken into account, though. You know what you're doing there. Finally, I think it's really normal to at some point, or even for some people always, just draw the same face. Doesn't matter. Just draw what you like. I really wish more people would just draw